daily chat with Gabby Cabby. I'm here a little bit early today and in front of you guys. Hope you're doing all right and had a good day. And I've see some of you in the chat already. Let's have a look, shall we? And see who we've got to say hello to. The first one that jumps out immediately is my mum. So hello, mum. Julie Keys, hello to you. Alan Pape as well. Blood Nose, good to see you. Danny, Tanner Family Memories, same to you. Cosmic Wartoad, all right, you lot, he goes every time. Why not make protests illegal? They already have. Yeah. So why are they getting on with it? Yes, we've got the usual suspects coming in. Hello, Anna Perkins. Hello, Seth78, good to see you. And Tracy Regan as well. You're all starting to come in. M. Perry, good to see you. And everyone in the chat, definitely. Well, there was some good news from America, which I put a video on about a short time ago. And that's this Mr. James, I think his name was, who decided to throw smoke grenades and bullets out of a Glock around on the Brooklyn subway station, has been apprehended. And I saw a nice picture of him being escorted off to a sitting NYPD patrol car, and he will be in the clink, staying at their pleasure. And it took them, a day to find him? And I think it was as a result of a tip-off from a innocent bystander, and they go by the motto over there, if you see something, say something. And that's what happened in this case, a bit of the old community spirit. Hello, Red Leader, good to see you. Healing Vibrations, hello to you. And Lorraine McKenzie, always welcome, good to see everybody. Well, you saw the subject or the title of this live stream. How are these eco mob maniacs getting away with it? Every day in the paper we read sympathy. Hi, Julie Baldwin. We read actions carried out which would otherwise put the rest of us in jail. And we read utter insanity. I'll tell you right, this morning, I'll tell you right now, if I go, right, I've got 337 miles of diesel. And that's got to get me to Gatwick and back a couple of times. Anywhere in Thanet at the moment, anywhere in my immediate area where I live, I can't get fuel. I drove past 2 to 3 different petrol stations this morning. Nothing. No diesel, no unleaded anywhere. And this is the same all over. My wife was lucky enough to get some the other day, just purely by chance. She drove past somewhere and there it was. So you have to ask yourself the question, why? Some of it is they're not getting through to us. It's supply and demand. The tankers aren't getting to us quick enough. Some of it may be what's going on around places like Dover, but the main thing is these eco-maniacs are sellotaping and supergluing themselves to the roads going in and out of the oil refineries and the petrol refineries, and they're supergluing themselves to the tankers and even sitting on them, trying to stop them leaving. In all, they want to stop fossil fuels. Unfortunately, at the moment, with the situation we're in with Ukraine and you know the world situation with energy prices on the rise, we cannot afford to not have fossil fuels. We need them. This country is not in a position to go green, and probably won't be in a position to go green for a long time. I read a report earlier where, Boris has still got this harebrained scheme up his right suit jacket thing, probably the same one he wore to Kiev, where he said that he wants to put windmills all over the place. What if they break? We're fucked. What if there's not enough wind? We're fucked. And all it will do is push the cost of everything up. But I have to ask the question, why are these arseholes getting away with it? We saw today, and I brought you the news earlier, that, David Amos's killer has been given a whole life tariff in the clink. No questions asked. So, justice. What about justice here? We had, Insulate Britain. They were sitting on the roads for, well, it seemed like weeks, running across the M25. Some insanely stupid footage that could have got anybody killed at the best of times. And what happened? A few of them got thrown in jail and come out. They start again. They've blocked Lambeth Bridge and all sorts of things. And I read an article earlier, and I did a video on this. They were praised by a judge for their visionary action. Imagine that. The justice system praising them for their actions. I read as well that at one of the refineries, I think it was Essex, or it may be one of the other ones, they were in there for 30 hours. And I saw pictures of police just walking around, twiddling their thumbs like, why aren't they moved on? I'll tell you why. We've become too soft. That's why. We should go in there, physically remove them, physically restrain them, and take away their freedom. They should be in prison. A very, very swift, hard example needs setting. Otherwise, it's going to go on and on and on. Why is it still going on and on and on? Why am I struggling for fuel? Why is everybody struggling for fuel? Why are the prices going up? Because the justice is not there to serve this problem, is it? They need to be made an example of. Now, I'll go in there tonight and I will read more news about Muggins who sellotaped his hands to the microphone at LBC. I mean, I could have super glued my hands to my steering wheel to prove the point. Let me out, I'm fucking nuts. He would have gone and done something else, and his mucky face with his glasses on and his unkempt looks will still be there, and we're all still trying to carry on. You tell me, right? What do we do about this? The police are obviously not doing anything about it. So do we have to do something about it? I draw your memories back 20 years ago, where we had a situation where fuel in a lot of cases, and I'm going back to the old days where you could still get a litre of 4-star, was well under £1 a litre. When I started driving 25 years ago, it was 64p a litre, something like that. And I know many in the chat will remember it by the gallon, and a lot cheaper still. And, you know, we were warned, if it goes £1 a litre, then there's going to be blockades. I remember queuing. I remember all that very well. And in my mind, I could see what the issue was, and we were protesting at that issue. We didn't want our fuel doing this. Well, look at it today. It's doubled again. Let's face it, it's terrible, isn't it? It's doubled again. But what is this about? Are they lefties? Are they paid opposition? Are they paid shills that have been told to go in and disrupt our lives? Is this all part of the bigger plan to make sure that we can't afford anything? You know, we have the situation with our gas and electricity in homes at the moment that's becoming unaffordable for a lot of people. I told somebody the other day that I mentioned them in the chat, a friend of mine, that I'm having to go and help at least once or twice a month because he runs out of electricity and gas, and he runs out of the basic supplies. And I give him a few quid every month to make sure he doesn't starve in between universal credit periods. Why do people have to live like that? It's absolutely crazy. Yes, Trevor Fuller, press 1 to lock them up. They need putting in court, and they need making a firm example of. That's my view. You know my background. I'm more to the right than I am to the left. I mean, Christ, call me a lefty, I'd melt. And there is a law enforcement background in my family. So to that end, I probably take more of a strict view of this than anybody else may do in any other circumstances. They're a disruption to society. They're a disruption to our way of life. They're not going to achieve their goals because what they're trying to achieve is unachievable, unsustainable in the short and, let's face it, the long term. It's not happening, is it? And I see a lot of ones in the chat where somebody said press 1 to lock them up. And there's a lot of ones. That's the answer, isn't it? But how is justice served in the situation we're in at the moment with the bureaucracy and everything else we have in this world? It's not really, is it? It's not. But, you know, it's an evolving situation, and we'll have to see. Listen, folks, this is a daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. I'm trying to do things a little bit differently to what I usually do, you know, spend the first 10-15 minutes talking about a particular subject and get your opinion, because at the end of the day, we're a community and we all have our opinions, and together as a collective we can find the answers. Whether anybody listens to them or not is another matter entirely. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the thumbs up on the chat. That will be very good, and it will help the algorithm discover the channel. I've noticed lately that some subscribers seem to be dropping off, and I'm trying to work out why and plug the hole. It appears to be when I put the shorter videos on, and I don't know whether that means that that's not preferred and maybe I need to do more of these live type things. I don't know. We'll have to go and analyze that situation at some point. If you're new to the channel as well, please consider subscribing. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. There are other ways to support the channel as well. I can be found on social media and various other outlets. Check them out also. Now what we're going to do now is go to the chat and see what everybody had to say about my little 10-minute diatribe, and we'll go back a little way, see if we can pick up some comments. Right, Cosmic Wartoad, let's start with you. The politicians won't do anything about the price and bill increases because they know directors are likely to be directors, know the top bosses and be shareholders themselves. Yeah, here they're coining it, aren't they? I said before, where we're all under the cosh. I saw another article with Martin Lewis, bless him, and he was talking about hot drinks and something to do with the washing machine, to do with saving you money. I don't know whether he was referring to get yourself a frill on the washing machine and drink a cup of tea at the same time. I don't know what he was referring to, because I didn't read his article. I find that kind of talk depressing. But, you know, we're all suffering with this. Why are these big conglomerates coining it in at our expense? The tables need turning, in my view. They need turning. It's not just the fuel for our cars, it's everything else. Use their chains to chain them to lampposts and anything else they can be chained to, and leave them there for the day. Well, did you see that plonker that cable tied himself to the goalpost at the football match? I'd have bloody left him there after full time, but they wouldn't do that. And these guys that were climbing on top of the fuel tankers, they were probably stopped and immobilized. I'd have carried on fucking driving. If that were me. Mind you, I would have ended up in court like that lady with the Range Rover, who got her licence taken and prosecuted for trying to get their child to school there. I mean, let's not mention the ambulances that were stopped and everything else. It's mad. Where is the justice? It appears if you're a lefty raving lunatic with a green agenda or anything else, it's open season. You know, the judges are praising you for your actions. It's completely mad. And I bet not only on our side of the pond, it's on the other side of the pond as well. You get a lot of these progressive ideas, a lot of this, you know, progressiveness, and it's crap. It's utter crap, and society is suffering as a result. Rich Harvey, simple way to combat superglue within seconds is nail polish remover. So why are they pissing around for hours when they can be removed in under a minute? Yes, well, I've got another answer as well. Blowtorch, Kango gun across the wrist, or even a JCB. Scoop the bloody tarmac up and have them away with it. One, lock them up. Yep. Another one, lock them up. I remember when I started driving, it was 27p. That's Trev's Travels. Is that per litre or per gallon, Trev? You tell me. Anna Perkins, mobile courts, instant justice, instant fines, jail. Get them out there. I like that, Anna. firm, direct, and no pissing about. Jeff Bridges, record numbers of dinghy divers are arriving yet again. It's all gone very quiet. Yeah, Jeff, I saw an article earlier about, well, it was reported in the press, I think 86 came in today, which probably means it was 186, but they reckon it's up to 4,500 so far this year, and we're only in April. We were warned it'd be record numbers. We certainly were, weren't we? And it looks like it could be the case there. Very good of you, Andy, helping others in the current climate. Adrian Conroy. I just want to bring these things to light, Adrian. It's as simple as that. You know, we've got to use this platform to try and raise a little bit of awareness, and I've seen others doing it as well. Hi, Alan. Liked your remark by Margaret Hearn. Hello, Andy and all from New York. NYPD caught the shooter from Brooklyn, 3 blocks from where I live. Blimey. Did you see anything go on, Margaret? I mean, from prayers, thanks to everyone for their prayers for NYC. Yeah, I saw in the news that he was collared by a McDonald's or in a McDonald's, and it was as a result of a tip-off. I mean, I've seen coverage of this, and they were very measured about how they described him. In fact, they didn't, some of the footage, I didn't even say he was a black guy. And you know, that's a big part of the description. But I saw pictures of how he was dressed up going into the subway. He had a yellow hat on, a mask up to here, really covered, and a high-vis jacket and everything. He was taking big measures to disguise his features, that's for sure. Tony Whitworth, yep, when I was 13 and working at the local petrol station, petrol was 10 bob a gallon. Jesus Christ. I bet you know, wonder where those days are gone, don't you? Andy, you're a good man for helping your friend out, John Harris. Well, put it this way, John. I remember a time, a long time ago, when the tables were turned, and he helped me, and I never forget. I would have done it regardless, but goes without saying. Kim Alliston, good evening, Andy, and all in the Gabby Cabby community. Very dark times. Seems like it's part of the plan. Yes, I see a lot of comments about NWO and all that sort of thing, and I'll be honest, I kept an open mind on it. I really did, but life is becoming too difficult at the moment with the cost of things, and it's almost like they're trying to ram something else through because we can't sustain or cope with what we've got right now. Is that some, you know, it's there's too much going on for it to all be a coincidence. It's very, very crazy. Samuel L. Saxon, bingo, Andy. I must have hit the nail on the head at some point. Angie Etheridge, good to see you. See you in the chat there. Hope you're well. When I was driving at first, it was 32.5p a litre, Andy. That's Bridget. Jesus. I mean, that must be going back some years. I don't know how long you've held a licence for. 1997, I passed my test. So, yeah, 25 years. And where the hell's that time gone? Red Leader, bring in the high-pressure water cannons. They won't like that for sure. Could you imagine that if they had their hands super glued to the road or something and you cannon them with the old water? Any other country, that would have happened. You can guarantee it, but why not here? Just like Sir David Amos killer was convicted by the video evidence, immediate arrest and proud ownership of the deed, these people are arrested on site, deploy mobile courts to deal with them. Yes, and they'll be proud of owning their deed. So it wouldn't be hard to get a conviction, would it? Chrissy Williams, I don't drive, but if anyone was stopping me, I'd definitely have something to say about it. Well, normal people trying to live normal lives wouldn't they? They'd want to say something about it. What I figured, I'll be doing something about the eco watts on BCTV soonish, but I have so many ideas to do. A nice run around earlier on the channel. Glued them all inside a prison cell. You see the stereotypical videos, don't you, of the jail cells, and they got their hands and they look very sorry. Super glue the bastards and see how they like it. I love that idea. Super glue your hands. Well, I just had to make the point there, didn't I? Daphne Lynch, it's the oxygen of publicity that needs to be removed, and they will stop. But the TV keep interviewing these tosspots. You make a very valid point. I mean, you could transfer that logic across to certain celebrities that thrive in the attention, and they say incendiary things like Harry and Meghan, the ginger whinger, and Meghan the malarkist. They're always in the press because they want the attention, even though they escaped to America for their own privacy. They want the attention, and the media engine keeps feeding it all the time. And, you know, it's a never-ending circle of shite. And the same's true of these Extinction Rebellion people. They want attention brought to the cause. Cut it off. End of story. I totally get where you're coming from with that one. Diet Coke, where is it? Oh, I've been swigging it. Don't you worry about that. I felt like putting something stronger in there. Eco people and BLM seem to get away with anything. That's right. I think there's sympathy in the judiciary, to be quite honest with you. I really do. Someone will have to get killed before there's a change to this madness. The problem is, I see what you're saying, Julie, but if it's one of them and the responsibility is one of us, it'll be one of us that gets the cart, you know. That's where it's all backwards. Trevor Fuller, lock 'em up. Yeah, I get you. Why aren't the politicians doing anything? That's the one about the shareholders. Absolutely right. It's crazy world, really. Let's have a look. One. Chains. I'll just go back down the chat now and see what we can find. I like a mix like you now have, Andy. It's working well. Cheers, Bridget. Appreciate it. Best way of dealing with super glue, a buzzsaw. Cut the hands off. A man after my own heart. Well, Margaret, I mean a woman after my own heart. Terribly sorry about that. Need a genuine PM who cares about the people. Yes, the tables need turning. Shut that door. Thank you. Well, the PM and his cronies, especially Dishy Rishi, are another story entirely, aren't they? Hi, Andy and everyone in the chat. Sorry, missed 10 minutes intro. That's all right, Cove Lord. No problem at all. The Flintstones have got the best idea when it comes to transport. Yeah, yabba dabba do. I love the Flintstones. Even John Goodman's remake weren't bad. Not bad at all. Listen, everybody, this is Andy the Gabby Cabby's Daily Chat. Welcome if you've just joined us. We're just having a little whinge about the eco nutcases. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button on the chat. Let's get those thumbs up increased. We like to get up to 100 or so. I think we did 150 yesterday. It was incredible. And I appreciate that. Also, if you're new, please subscribe. Let's get those numbers going as well. I appreciate that too. And there are other ways of supporting the channel and whatever you can find underneath in the description. I won't go on too much about it. You can find out for yourself. We don't have them in Northern Ireland. No idea why, but please don't be exporting them. That's S78. Probably a different way of dealing with things, I suppose. It's not worth their while. Number of campaign folk, the less on TV, covering makeup, etc. Margaret Home, spray them with itching powder or poison ivy. I love it. You got some good ideas there. But yeah, anywhere else it'd be water cannon. They'd be gone, and then they wouldn't come back. Lynn Harrison, bring plenty of sunscreen. Keith James, yeah, I love it. All the people stuck in traffic jams because of the protests should be able to sue the organisers. Yeah, I agree with that. On the M25, I think it's up near junction 10 and 11. There's a big piece of paint splattered in the road. I think it's a blue colour. And right there, you had Insulate Britain was staging a sit-in on the M25. And what they were doing, they were marking their territory. They were spraying all this shit all over the roads. And I got stuck in a traffic jam on this particular day because of this problem of the Insulate Britain people. But it wasn't that. What it was, on the other side of the road, more or less parallel with it, there was a nasty accident, a very nasty accident, actually. Massive pile-up. I saw the carnage when I drove past. Now, in my mind, I put one and the other. One and one makes two. I think one caused that accident. I have no doubt of that whatsoever, but it was denied at the time. Now, what about the lives that were disrupted and injured? You know, having a look over there at what was going on, and then bang, only takes a couple of seconds of distraction at that speed. You know, somebody's going to get hurt, but that got swept under the carpet. It did. Keep on the way you're going, Andy. Stay true to you. Thank you, Neats. I appreciate it. Chrissy Williams, Cosmic, that's true. Cat's litter, cat sounds is 150 more a bag. It's crazy, isn't it? Hammer and chisel, Adrian Conroy. Yeah, that works. Let's get brutal. Bit like Fred Flintstone's day. What do you think to Boris putting to stop the NHS for wanting lockdowns and more restrictions? He said no. That's Julie. Well, Julie, there's two schools of thought, isn't there? When COVID first came in, you can think what you like. We all have our own thoughts about it, but it was something we didn't know anything about, and a big portion of our society got very, very scared. I was one of them. I was worried for me. I was worried for my family. And, you know, you do as you're told. You stay in, keep away, protect the NHS, yada, 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 yada. And with every variant that's come along, it's weakened and got weaker and weaker and weaker, to the point where it's no better than a cold or a mild flu. I know, I've just got it and got over it. Now, if you stay in and lock down and nobody mingles with anybody, the infections are going to go down. But countries are going to bankrupt. They're going to go bust. And no one's going to be able to survive. Oh, now here's the thing, you see. The government might have to pay people to stay at home and feed them a sum of money they depend on. Oh, there's the thing, isn't it? Anyway, back to the plot. That's my conspiracy theory mind going. Oh, there's the other side of the coin. We get out, we live. Businesses thrive, we get on with life. And accept the fact, sooner or later, we're going to get the cold. We stay at home, keep warm, few lemsips and everything. A few days later, we're right as rain. I know which I'd prefer. And by the sounds of it, Boris thinks that as well. Or the other way of looking at it, he's being typical conservative, and he doesn't want to commit to the financial implications of the other, because, you know, it would cost a lot of money. This whole furlough, this artificial money and everything else, cost billions, didn't it? Absolute billions. It won't be me paying it back. It won't be my kids, my grandkids that aren't even here yet. That's who will be paying that back. And for what? It's absolute madness, all of it. But I think Boris and Dishy Rishi have got a few more things to worry about at the moment. Tina XX, it's BS, Andy. An article came out, just so happens they found a ton of oil in the UK, so we'll stop drilling due to fracking. I didn't know that article, actually. You got one up on me there, but I can well believe it. Kim Alliston just cannot understand they're causing their own countrymen so much stress. It's frustrating, that's right. I watched a report when Sky News came under fire, and it was a proper firefight. Done a bit of research. 2018. Yeah, I made a comment the other day about a lot of these news reports using stock footage from old incidents, and that could be a that's something we've got to watch out for. Uh, I have a message from Mr. Putin. Suka laugh out loud. Are you referring to the film Taken by any chance? Because I know what happened in the scene after that was said. Bev, can't give you a tip, Andy. Can I give you a tip, Andy? Listen to Tom McDonald, Brainwashed on YouTube. Okay. No, I didn't. Just glad bastard is caught with no one else injured. That's referring to the New York City, Brooklyn shooter, the guy that hurt all those people yesterday morning on the subway. Suka is Latvian for pig. Okay, all right. Bev Berry, still recovering from my COVID. Stink Pooter, the other thing about all this cleanliness, mask wearing and anti-social distancing is that we start to lose natural immunity to other viral diseases. I've got someone who lives down the road from me, Stink Pooter, who said exactly that. The moment they took the old muzzle top off their boat race, they were catching everything. It just completely destroys your natural immunity to things. I mean, I was getting better, and I went for a kick around in the back garden with my son earlier, and all that crap moves around your chest and everything. It just lingers. I hate it. Well, I guess that's something that will go in time, I think. Prices have gone up in the sunbed shop. I go to 20 minutes, used to be 80, now it's 92 quid. Jesus. I think Boris thought that in the first place he never really wanted a lockdown, but in a noise to do so, he gave in. Daphne Lynch, yeah. I think he wanted herd immunity because he denied it, didn't he, at the time? And then there was a piece of footage from this morning, and I actually brought it on my channel, where he said to them, let it work through the country. Let everybody get it and we'll all be fine. Why is there no mobile phone footage of the war? All it is news channels. Yeah, that's a valid point. And I made comment the other day about Boris's so-called visit, where he was wearing his Sunday best, walking through supposed war-torn streets. And I thought this was a bit, and I read a report earlier today that Putin's getting pissed off with the Ukrainians attacking things just on the inside of the Russian border. So he's talking now about hitting command and control centres, like where Zelensky's currently sitting. So why didn't he do that in the first place, I wonder? We'll see what happens next. But I received a message off of YouTube earlier today, which says that they're monitoring very carefully what people say and do and what they try and portray about the situation over there, and they'll demonetize anybody that step over the line. So that that says to me that there's a certain element of going on about this. It's not good, but we will see. Anyway, back to the chat. Let's see who we got here, shall we? Julie Baldwin. He's trying to stop the NHS and the unions trying to run the country. Christine, all good, thanks. Bev Berry, thank you. Hope you're doing good. Rugby in the house. That's Bob. Lorna McKenzie, good. Who we got here? Furlough is a great unrequested extended holiday from work, but it got boring, and after so long, I couldn't wait to go back to work. Yeah, you sit at home, especially if you're a worker. What can I say? We were all there at one point. Won't win another election, Alan Pape says. You could well be onto something there. Minamu, I have just been in the Just Stop Oil Facebook page, and I'm telling you, if we do not stand up to these eco-terrorists, we are absolutely doomed. I'll have a look at that when I go in and see what these idiots are saying. Rubber bullets, John Gray says, load them up. Boris is fecked. That's why he's trying to please the public with no lockdowns. And if he does more, he'll never get re-elected. It's bad enough he is now the first PM ever in 300 years to be done. Well, fined as well, and rather embarrassingly so. Take Andy from Newcastle. That's David L. Please cover your neighbours, the Second Jolly family. Who? Cover your neighbours, the Second. I'm not with you there, Healing Vibrations. Can you pick me up from Morrison's and take me home, Andy? That's Bev Berry. Is that a Morrison's 200 miles away from where I'm sat right now? Andy, they've pulled down the semi-built hospital at William Harvey. What a waste of money. I remember that footage you sent me, Chrissy. Was there more to it than that? Has other stuff happened since? Why have lefty hippies and eco warriors got YouTube channels? It makes you wonder, doesn't it? And I wonder if they were reported, not that I'm suggesting anything, of course, what would happen as opposed to somebody like little old me. Probably not a great deal, if we're honest about it. So they're already in use in the UK. Water cannons can't have that, can we? Human rights would be violated. Poor little mites. Their mummy needs to give them their dummies. That's Daphne Lynch. I like the sentiment there. Yeah, they need to be put back in their mother's back bedroom on their medication, don't they? What if I'd been a huge pile up and ambulances couldn't get through? Yeah, Lorna, it was nasty business. It was. Still got the Kung flu, Dave says. Good morning, Andy. Cut off their gas and electricity in their houses. That's Graham Smith. Yeah, see how they like it. It'd soon change then. Deployment of water cannons across Europe, frequently used to disperse crowds, so no impediment for the use here on human rights grounds. That's Anna Perkins. Hi, Mark Hampson, good to see you. Race to 100 likes. Smash that like button. That's Julie Baldwin doing the old mods job. I haven't seen Factual Breakdown again. I wonder where she is. Speaking of mods, that's 2 or 3 she's missed now. There must be something afoot. Videos everywhere proving it was crisis actors in New York. No false flag. Okay. There's something else going on here, Andy. The rich people in Sunningdale still wearing N95 masks, not cheap ones, and I heard it because of the dust that Bill Gates is spraying to stop global warming. I don't get that, spraying dust. Mind you, we had a thing here where we were told it was a dust storm come over from the Sahara, and I come out and both my cars were covered in it, and I've had a tip off with you for another load. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Chemtrails is what's going on. Have you not noticed the amount of dust on your car every morning? If we breathe that in, not good. Well, I clean the inside of my car today, and the outside really is a flea pit, to be sure. Anna Perkins, I was just going to talk about the young children being diagnosed. Yeah, we've got some other diverse things in here. Andy, you tell the truth, they don't like it. Well, I was brought up to be honest, sorry. The dust is from the Sahara, they say, but I've seen the trails. Yeah. I had to think of a few seconds. I thought at first you were talking about people being appreciative of the fans themselves. Hi, Andy, bit late to the chat. That's Patricia. No, you're okay. Good to see you. I'm just trying to catch up with what people are saying. They didn't finish building the hospital. Now it's been pulled down, paid for with our taxes. Okay. Andy, the Sassany Jollies, the mental family who raised their 7-year-old boy as a girl, the ones I told you about. Oh, okay, I'm with you. The dad now says he's a non-binary. Fuck's sake. Yeah, well, I gave you my opinion on that yesterday. I could well expand on it. I suppose it's crazy. Put UK first. I love that screen name. The UK mob get away with it because we keep voting anti-British politicians into power. Yes, and that's a shambles in itself. I could talk about that all day long too. Hi Andy and all in the chat. That's Alan Edge. Good to see you. Inflation, fish and chips up 30%. Who knew? He said it would be 50 by the end of the month. I can believe that as well. I can believe that. Well, I'll eat a battered sausage. The problem is the dust gets in your air filter, and it's so fine it gets into the engine and wrecks it. Got enemies of the people. Yeah, it's crazy, all of this stuff that's going on. Listen, everyone, this is a daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. If you haven't done so already, give the like button a hit. Let's see if we can get that up a little bit to nearer 100 likes. That'd be wonderful. That seems to be what we do usually. If you've just started watching the channel, please consider subscribing as well. We get those moved up a bit in the right direction. I appreciate that. And have a look around. We've got videos everywhere, and links to social media, a website, and all the other odds and ends too. And thank you very much, what everybody does. I appreciate you all. I flew over the Sahara on my way to West Africa. The dust is from there. It was everywhere in the atmosphere. I like looking out of windows. Very strange at Boris. Yeah, I saw that comparison picture on Twitter. Tony Whitworth, how he wore a stab vest and everything in Merseyside, but nothing on his little visit. First thing I noticed. Really first thing I noticed, and it was glaringly obvious that we're all having the piss taken out of us, isn't it? Right? Very glaringly obvious. Shut that door. Right, I have a business meeting on Zoom. Must dash. Apologies, late to the last meeting of the day. That's all right, healing vibrations, and see you when we do. Do non-binaries have to non-binary maths? Something. Computers work on the binary principle, don't they? Or have I got that wrong? No, they do work on the binary principle. On, off, 1, 0, true, false, and all the other connotations thereof. They were talking about, I think, quantum computing before I got out of IT, and that sounded rather complicated to me, I have to tell you. I don't think I'd have caught up with all that. I have enough trouble with the old binary thing. But there you go. Fuerteventura has a lot of sand from the Sahara. I remember Gran Canaria with the sand dunes at Maspalomas and walking across them. Unfortunately, we found the German nudist colony right at the end, but that's another story for another time. Lorna, there must be so many semi-built COVID hospitals now taken down. Yeah, they rushed them up, didn't they? And it seldom used, not staffed. It was a mad thing, wasn't it? It was a mad thing. I think the chat might have frozen up a little bit. If you're hearing me, everybody, can you put a 1 in the chat, just so I know you're still there? We appear to have lost the feed slightly. Mum, 1, that's excellent. All right, 1. Yeah, we're all good. Okay. Andy, are you a naturist? Well, what happened? I went on holiday, me and a group of friends, and we went to Gran Canaria, obviously, as I mentioned, and we took a ride down to Maspalomas one day, and they got these wonderfully big sand dunes. Yeah, I'm going back 20 years, by the way, to put it into some clarity. Who have we got there saying hello? Matthew Woodward, hello to you. And we were walking along, and there's massive sand dunes, and I suddenly looked up at one, and I said, "Yeah, Simon." It's my friend I was with at the time. I said, "That person up there, they're Starkers." He looked up, he said, "Nah, get off, no, they're not." And we got a bit closer, and it turns out they were. There was a naked lady on top of the sand dune. We thought, "Oh, blimey." And then we looked around, and then we saw more naked people. And we realised we'd walked straight into the middle of a nudist beach, right down the end of the Maspalomas sand dunes. We thought, what the hell? Do we join in, or do we? Yeah. So we opted to just stare at the sand and carry on walking. And eventually we got into the middle of this area where there wasn't a single clothed person anywhere in sight. It was fucking outrageous. And we thought, well, we're dehydrated, so we better get some water. And there was a bar in the middle. And we got there. Even the barman was naked. And said, "Can I have a bottle of water, please?" Thank you. Exchanged pesetas, as it was at the time, and carried on water. And eventually we come to civilization where people remembered how to put their clothes on again. I've never seen anything like it in my life before or since. It was absolutely obscene. PMSL, a farmer has been harassing and bullying vegetarians with a turnip. Oh dear, could have been a cucumber, could be worse. We've got a nudie beach in Brighton, Hannah Perkins. Oh, I was down there. I must have missed it. Christine Ayres, could be worse. Could have used a cucumber. Yeah, stop nicking my lines. Andy, you're making me laugh. Laughter, good medication for the soul. Always is. Oh, nice one. That's Sharon Shooter. BlackRock CEO and chairman Larry Fink has admitted the elites have failed to usher in the NWO following President Putin's invasion. Yes, probably put a spanner in the works, hasn't it, this whole thing? We'll see what happens. Prunes. There's probably a few on that beach in Maspalomas. Robert McNair, hello to you. Good to see you. Welcome to the chat. 3 naked beaches in Folkestone. One naked sunbathe in my garden. Yes, Andy. Police had reports of a peeping Tom bored a hole in a fence. Police are looking into it. Stink pooter. Yes, there's always the thing about the not hole in the fence, isn't there? And I can see this chat degenerating fast. I can go down that road, but yeah. Right. I hope to wear one with "happy to help" on the back. Hello, Putin. Good to see you. John Harris, when you was on the beach, did a seagull buy nick your saucy roll? Certainly didn't. Chrissy, do you need a gardener? Yes, well, I wonder how fast that vacancy would be there for. It's weird, as Trump said Putin is a hero and he's saving the world by what he's doing in Ukraine. Ukraine joined NATO and we're given nukes. That would be the end of us all. Who knows what's true? Well, it's this thing about the narrative, isn't it? We have to cross-check our information here, there, and everywhere. What choice have we got? We're never too sure what the truth is anymore, do we? What we're being told. Listen, folks, I'm going to draw, proceedings to a close this evening. I must admit my old vocal abilities are starting to fail me a little bit at the moment. 10 minutes shy. I don't know why that is, but nevertheless they are. I want to thank you all for coming along this evening. I hope you like this new way of doing things, just a subject for the first 10 minutes or so, and then we can discuss or go into our usual jibber jabber or whatever you want to do. Before you go, I would appreciate it if you haven't done so already. Please hit the like button. Let's get the last couple of likes there, try and get up to a ton. Which would be nice. There's 98 just in. We just need 2 more. Speaking of Tooliloo, 99. Will we get the 100, I wonder? Yeah, there we go, 100 likes. Thank you very much to the person who hit the 100th. Much appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't done so. You can do that by hitting the button on the actual channel. We have a website now, andythegabbycabby.com. We're still tinkering and doing some odds and sods over there. It's just another promotional tool for the site and the channel. It's all good, and yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there, and I want to start getting the old momentum going again, and all the videos coming across. I'll always look up a news article in the morning, something we can base a discussion on, something that I can talk about for a period of time, and we'll see how we get on. Yes, Yoda did vanish, Christine Ayres. You know, I think Yoda pissed off they did, or got duly booted. I'm not quite sure which it was. But anyway, enough of that. Good to see you. I'll see you tomorrow. Toodaloo.